You can still get your life back. Get your life back. It's real. Get your life back. Get your life back. Good morning, everybody. This is Cheryl Howard from Get Your Life Back Inspirational Life Coaching. It has been a while. I said I need to get on here. I wanted to do this yesterday, especially regarding Labor Day, but it's all right because it's still relevant to today. And you saw my title, Living in Vain or Laboring in Vain or in Purpose. And so this is like a checkup this morning. And usually I do like the Monday checkups, but this is a checkup into our purpose, just to really see where we are, examining ourselves. Sometimes we kind of deter. Sometimes we get a little slack. Sometimes we procrastinate. I'm a witness. I've experienced all of these. And so, we here to those of us who are really pursuing living in our purpose and on our purpose, we have to keep each other accountable and check in sometime and see what's going on. Are we okay? But also learning to do this for ourselves. It is imperative. So I named the title Laboring in Vain or Purpose. And I thought about the song, Is My Living in Vain? By the Clock Sisters, because sometimes you have to ask yourself those questions. And so I wanted to define vain because some of us may have forgotten. And one word can have many meanings. So when I was looking it up online really quick, vain means showing excessive high opinion of your appearance, ability, worth, or it means you're conceited, narcissistic, self-obsessed, egocentric, and egotistic, and so on and so on. I think it's important because a lot of times we become those things when we lose sight of our purpose, when we lose sight of our why in the first place. And I see this happen with a lot of us, even people in ministry, starting out with a zeal and a desire. The passion is and we have to remember our passion as well. The passion initially is usually, I want to serve. I want to help people. I know God has called me to influence and to have a major impact on people's lives. And I want to be used. You at that humble stage. I like the way the old saints say it. Humble. You got to be humble. But you're at that humble stage where you're gleaning and you're depending on God and you have that passion and that zeal and that desire, and that's your motivator, and that's what's been pushing you from the get-go. But somewhere along the line, we lose sight of our vision. We forget the passion. We forget the motive. We forgot our why. And so that's why checking in is very important to check your pulse. Where are you in this thing? Maybe you've gotten lost because you forgot why. You forgot your purpose. And maybe you have gotten to a point where you are laboring in vain. You're going after, you're pursuing, you're determined, you're tenacious. But in the midst of that, sometimes we can get prideful. Come on, somebody, let's be honest. We're human. We live in a fallen state. So we always have to examine ourselves. Even God tells us to do that. Examine yourself. Check your heart. Check your motive. Check your intent. What is the intent? And so look for the symptoms of vanity. Have I become conceited? Did I forget who called me in the first place? Did I forget who gave me this purpose and passion and desire that I have? The author and the finisher of my faith? Because a lot of times we can become that way. It becomes more about us. I did this. I'm this. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging your gifts, your talents, your strength. We do it all the time. When we go into job interviews and they ask us these questions, we tell them all the time, I'm good at this. I got good people-oriented skills. I'm a great organizer. I'm good at solving problems. You have to tell people that. You need to identify yourself. That's some of our journey is learning who we are and whose we are and why we are here. We get, the word just left me right now. It'll come back to me. But we have those type of questions in our lives, especially when we're just starting out. And it's great when you find out who you are, what your identity is, but then sometimes you can end up with an identity crisis because you have forgotten what manner of man or woman you are. And so we have to do a checkup. So that was some of the definitions of what it means to be vain. And remember to look for those symptoms and see, have I become self-obsessed? Am I narcissistic, me, myself, and I, and everything always regard you, or, all of that? You have to ask those questions. When you are, operating in this vain, or laboring or living in vain, what you do, it becomes pointless because you forgot who you were called to serve, why you're here, and all of that. You forget to highlight the creator. You forget to highlight your why, that passion, God's plan and purpose along the way. You forget to operate in acts of service, and that's getting a little bit into your love languages, what resonates with other people, even in relationships. But I'm not going to get into that right now. But a lot of times we feel unfulfilled because we're not fulfilling our purpose. I'm going to repeat that. Sometimes we are feeling unfulfilled because we are not fulfilling our purpose. If you're not fulfilling your purpose, if you're not living toward your purpose, there's always going to be a feeling of void, emptiness, because you are here for some reason. And I'm not talking about one purpose. You can have many purposes. And then you can have a season where in this season, your purpose is to do this. But then there's a shift that happens and the transition that takes place that's saying that season for that purpose is over. I have a new purpose for you, or there's something else, or there's another way, another capacity in which you can serve others. Because most of the jobs that we do is serving somebody. You may be serving your employer, but then if you're working for a company or business that serves people, you're serving them, whether you're working from behind the scenes or in front, whether you're the administrator or you're the direct care service provider. Some kind of way you own a store, you're serving people, you're giving people things that they want, desire, need. So I want you to have that perspective that when you go out to do something, live intentional, be purposeful, create meaning in your life. What is the meaning of this? And I'm at a stage now where I question everything. I'm questioning a person that I encounter. I'm examining and I'm checking out and I'm trying to analyze what is the purpose for this relationship. It's important to know. It is really important to know. So I want to move on. And I'm right where I need to be. I'm talking about the unfulfilling. So now I want to get into, sometimes you feel like you're drifting away. And I don't care who you are. You're going to experience different seasons in your life where you feel like giving up. You feel like you're drifting away. Come on, we human. We go through things. So it's not about being perfect or, searching for perfection. None of us are perfect. So, and I can't stand when people say that all the time. Well, I'm not perfect. None of us are. So throw that out the window. None of us are perfect. Okay. So we all can end up in places where we feel lack, or we deterred, or we get off track. That's natural. This is why accountability is very important. Having individuals in your lives who know the vision and know the plan and know the purpose, and they want to make sure you get to your end goal. They're going to make sure that you reach your overarching goal or goals, and that you are fulfilling your purpose, that you are walking in your shoes. Where are your shoes? And if you have lost them, then you have to start over again. Get with people who help you check your pulse, who will help you to examine yourself. And that's what a good leader does. And if you are a leader or called to a leader, the strength of a good leader is one who haven't forgotten how to serve, or what it is to serve, or what a servant is. Because it keeps you in check, where you won't become puffed up and conceited and egocentric and narcissistic, and so focused on your abilities and what you can do. And and your worthiness and all, and become self-obsessed and all of that stuff. You won't operate in that. You pull your own coattail, or you have those around you who will pull your coattail. We call it that, especially in church, when somebody kind of get besides themselves, or they get up to the pulpit and start speaking, but then they go off like that man who went off at the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin's funeral. He totally lost me. I was like, where he go? Maybe I missed it. I don't know what he said. He got lost. My daughter and I was watching, and we looked at each other like, I don't know what's the point here. What is the message? What is the message for the day? Totally lost. But anyway, so that's what they would do. They would kind of call it pulling your coattail. The pastor may give you a look, a leader, like, okay, time's up, or you getting off focus or something. But it was done in love. It was to kind of help you, especially when you first starting out. You need that assurance. You need somebody kind of like, okay, let's pull it back in, honey. Let's wheel it back in. You're going way out to the ocean. I need you to stay closer to the beach, closer to the surface. Don't get so far out there, because then you can get lost. Like the show Lost. You just out there on your own, because that's what happened at the end of the day. If you don't recognize these things, if you don't see these symptoms, you will find yourself lost, but you will find yourself out there by yourself. When you become so puffed up and it becomes all about you, and you decide, I'm doing this thing, and you're doing it in vain, you start losing folks. The people you serve, you don't know where they are. You just lose. You become unfocused. And so it's about getting back refocused. Like I said, this is not about condemnation. This is not about judgment. This is about being real and honest with yourself. And that also attracts people toward you, toward your brand, toward your service, because they see that you are a person who, you're honest. You're vulnerable to some degree. You're transparent. You can say, I faltered, I deterred, but I got to get back on track, on focus. You know why? Because they see that you are self-aware, which is always says very powerful. You have acknowledged where you have went wrong, where you have fell short, and you're honest. And you also teach people how to get back up and become refocused, because these things do happen. So I'm here to encourage you, if you have drifted away, or for those, I don't want you to drift away, this is something you need to implement in your life, in your journey, whatever it is you're doing. It could be your life journey. It could be your business, whatever, entrepreneurial journey, ministry journey, whatever it is. I think it keeps you humble. It keeps you submissive, and it keeps you focused. So in order to do that, like I said, you have to stay connected to the source. The source, I'm talking about the Creator God. And then those around you, those who have been assigned. See, when you stay focused and you're on journey, God will put people in your place as points to make sure you stay on your journey. You stay in your purpose. So become mindful, but become discerning, and pay attention to those folks, because you need those folks. They're there because they're there for you. They're not against you. So, those people keep you sustained, but the Creator, the source himself, keeps you sustained. He is the sustainer, to keep you on track, or to pull your coattail and say, okay, you don't went to the left, but it's okay. Let's get back over here. So align yourself with purpose pushers. There's people who I follow on social media, and people I know locally that, we are like-minded. And some of them are further along in their own journey than I am. And some of them are on the same path. But there are some people that I really, really admire. And I don't even know they know, but they keep me inspired. Because sometimes you can find yourself being the main one who always pulling other people up. You're always keeping other people inspired. You're always out there motivating. You're giving, you're pouring out. But you need to be poured into. You need to be fed. It doesn't matter what your title is, what level of hierarchy you serve in. We all need to be fed. We should all remain teachable, because you never get to the point where you just know it all and you can never grow. And so sometimes in situations you have to eat the meat and spit out the bones. So a person may be telling you something that you know already, but then Pay attention. Don't dismiss everything. I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and we was talking about gifts and prophecy and different things. And one of the things I said, where you can't despise or dismiss everything. You might miss something. Maybe some things don't apply to you now, but keep living. Keep living. Because you may experience something you have never experienced before, and some word or some teaching or some lesson that you heard in the past may be relevant to now. So don't be so quick to dismiss. The reason why I was talking about the prophecy, because there's a scripture that says don't despise, prophecy. Don't dismiss it all and just say, oh, that's not for me. You never know. Keep living. That's the older saints say, or the older people say, keep living this life. Okay. But anyway, so align yourself with the right people, the people who are for you and not against you. But those people, there's a few people I want to shout out to that they really inspire me. And it doesn't matter how old a person is, it's about being like-minded. It's about what they doing, their values and who they serve and their gifts and their talents and wisdom. Wisdom is not limited to a certain age. So I'd like to give a shout out to Sade Wayadu. I admire this young lady. She's a brand strategist. She really helps people go after their purpose and passion boldly, especially for those who want to be entrepreneurs and they want to, build a brand and know how to market themselves and out there so they can serve the people and also learn how to reach their target audience so they can really find the people that they are called to serve so they can operate in their purpose, and I admire her for that. And then there's the Toni Moores. I like Toni Moore. I was privileged to get to meet her in person. I love her spirit. She's out there doing every day. She's an attorney. She's an author. She's a lot. She's multi-gifted, multi-talented. She's a spirit-filled woman. And so these are people that, even though we don't talk every day, we're not like best friends or buddies. They're like-minded people. And so I tune in when they speak and when they give it, when they pouring out to people, when they're sharing wisdom and they're giving tools and strategies to help you stay sustained, to help you make it, to help you pursue after your dreams and your visions and that passion that you have. They inspire me. And so it really keeps the fire under my feet because, like I said, we all go through stuff. They don't know me. They don't know maybe different struggles that I went through, or maybe I'm going through a season of, I don't know if I want to stay in this thing. And one of them may just pop up, with their message for the day or something that they're teaching and they're helping people with. And I'm like, my God, I needed to hear this right now. And it's like going to church. And you know that the pastor don't know nothing about your business, but the message that he speaks, it ministers straight to you, straight to straight to the thing that you're battling with or you're going through. And you're like, I know it was meant for me to hear this. I know that couldn't nobody have done that but God. And so that's what it is. And I hope this is that for somebody else. But thank you, Toni Moore. Thank you, Sade Wayadu. Thank you, Yahoo. She's another one who is about purpose, who is about helping other people live and walk into their purpose, and see the strength that they have and uplift people. So I want to give a shout out to Yahoos as well. Awesome. These are awesome people. And what I love about them, I want to get back to the point I was going to make too. Our values kind of align together because these are people, first of all, who love God. So they understand biblical principles. They understand the reaping and the sowing, and they understand how we're there to help each other and keep each other accountable, and how we got to plant and how we got to water and how God comes and give the increase. They understand those principles and they understand about accountability. Because in the body of Christ, that's what it's all about, keeping each other, building each other up. And they do that. And so that's why the messages that they give resonate with me. I can identify with them. And I'm like, you understand, because you're kind of on the same path and you have the same principles, the same values that I have. So find those individuals who have the same values and purpose that you have. And I'm talking about even in relationships, not even in your purpose, but even in relationships. As I said, you have to be purposeful and intentional about your life. And I'm almost about to wrap it up. But this is all to help you avoid becoming lost, or if you are lost, how to get back to land. If you're way out there, find yourself way out there in the middle of the ocean, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to be your not only your lifeguard, but someone to kind of help pull you back in. You can get back on your feet, reconnect, get back online. And when I say get online, I'm not talking about the internet, that too, but you get back online, right where you supposed to be on the journey and moving forward and progressing. This is why one of my motto, or under my title, Get Your Life Back Inspiration Life Coaching, you will see that one of my goals is to help motivate people to break through barriers and propel into their purpose. There are barriers that we will face or deal with, but I don't want you to get stuck there. I want you to learn how to break through. So one of my goals is to give you tools and strategies to help you break through barriers, and not only to break through them right away, because, in reality, some things we just have to wait out and go through, but to help you maintain and don't lose sight of your purpose while you're in that battle, while you're facing that mountain, when you're dealing with a barrier or what looks like an obstacle. And one of the things I've helped people do in my clients every day is to help them have a different perspective, repurpose that barrier, look at it a different way. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it get you stuck where you don't move and you become paralyzed. And I share a lot of my own testimonies of different barriers and different things that I've faced and dealt with. But what kept my mind and what kept me moving forward and propelling forward is my mindset. And that's why in most of my coaching programs, I'm always dealing with the mindset, because you have to have a set mind to do something. You know what I'm saying? Well, you're going to do this no matter what, come hell or high water, because when you change your mindset and there's a renewing of the mind and there's a transformation of the mind, when you get your mind focused on something, some people call it stubborn, some people call it unwavering, set, whatever it is, it's all good when it comes to staying on purpose, fulfilling that dream, that vision, that goal, so you don't become deterred. You have to get a mindset that way that, okay, I'm not letting you lose sight. You know what it does? It protects you against being in the wrong alliances, relationships, and all kinds of stuff. Getting lost, getting way out there, forgetting who you are, what your purpose is, forgetting your why, because you have a mindset. Even if you have to wait something out in a season where you have to get yourself back together, the mindset keeps you. I love it. I love it. I love it. So getting back online, remembering to be a blessing always, because when you pour out and you give, and I'm talking about being a blessing to others, it refuels you. It gives you fire. And that also keeps you humble and remind you of your why you here, what the purpose is, what the passion is. It reminds you of why you started out in the first place, what you sought out to do, what you feel your call and your purpose is. So remember to be a blessing. Remember how to serve. Those are the best leaders, because they remember the struggle. They remember when they was trying to get to a certain point, the barriers, all the things that got in the way. So this way you will stay empathic, you will stay compassionate, and you will always, understand people's journey, and you can relate to them. You'll be a kinsman, like a kinsman redeemer, because kin means relationship, relative. So you'll be able to relate to people, and people can relate to you, and people will be drawn toward you. So remember that. Remember your why. Remember your passion. Examine your pulse. Check your heart, your intent, your motive, your influence, and your impact. Look at the impact and the influence you have on people. That's the indicator of your why. In case you've forgotten, think about how you influence others. Think about the feedback you get from people. And it'll bring you back to that place like, wow, this is why I set out to do this. I know for me, a lot of people told me that I inspire them a lot. I help them think about, wow, there is a reason for me to be here. If they feel like there is a reason for them to be here and they want to go pursue that, it gives them hope, passion for life, zeal, I just heard different things from different people. But what that does for me is it reminds me of my why, like, okay, I can't give up. I got to do this thing. I got to do this thing. So I look for straws. I look for anchors. I look for even people who will remind me of my passion, my purpose. So I, get back on track, get back online, do what I need to do. Don't worry about other people. Don't compare myself to other people, where they are, where they at, and all that good stuff. Just know that I have my own race and my own journey. And so those people are very important in your lives. So remembering your passion, examining all of that. And, we talked about pulling your own coattail, checking yourselves, examine yourself, before anybody else does. It's better when you can critique and pull your own coattail and examine your own heart before somebody else does and do it publicly. That's more embarrassing. We don't want to do that. We don't want that to happen. So we have to do that, question ourselves. And so I'm about wrapping this up. But ask your own self the question, am I living in vain or on purpose? And that's it. So I hope this was inspiring to somebody. I hope this if it pulled somebody's coattails, so be it. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Because it's all good. It's all good. It's to propel you forward. So anyway, reintroducing myself, Cheryl Howard, inspirational and transformational strategist. I am also a mental health professional. I work with people, teaching them, doing life coaching, but I also do mental health counseling. I do couple counseling. I do parent coaching, in the field of mental health and human services. A lot of times in that role, you serve in many different areas, So I thank God for the privilege to have worked in different, serve in different ways, people, whether they're couples, they're families, individuals, people with maybe psychiatric diagnoses and everything. I've learned so much, and it's very challenging, and it's even challenging now because now I'm doing parent coaching, which is not easy because there's always some element of marital counseling or premarital counseling or separation counseling when people are not together. And so you're teaching and helping them how to communicate, how to build a healthy relationship, and also how to model effective co-parenting with your children, and teach them that you teach them something, whether you're verbal or nonverbal, in your behavior, in your reactions. So that is definitely challenging, but you really learn a lot when you're serving and working with people. And I'm one to always study human behavior and development because it teaches me a lot about myself. Hello, I'm leaving myself out of the equation. I learn a lot about myself, why I do what I do, why I react the way I react, why I respond that way, all of that. And it helps me to become a better leader, a better counselor, a better coach, and all of that. And I'm also certified as a life purpose coach. How relevant is that? So a lot of times you're already doing stuff that you are called to do and serve in. And so when you examine yourself and check your motives and your reasons and your why and your passion, you will find it. If you seek, you shall find. So I am admonishing you to seek. And so you can find, and so you can flow. Hey, T, man, you just popped in. You got to catch the replay. But the message was definitely about living in vain and in purpose and not losing sight. And I think I kind of pretty much summed up everything, not become highly minded, not becoming self-obsessed and conceited and, have high opinion of yourself. You lose sight of the person who called you the first place, the person who gave you talent and gifts, the person who gave you desire to serve. Because it becomes pointless. Everything that you do becomes pointless if you forget that. If you forget that you're supposed to be living in your purpose. And then I moved on down to sometimes you feel unfulfilled because you're not fulfilling your purpose. And how sometimes we can drift away and we got to get reconnected. First, get reconnected to the source, but then surround yourself with people who will keep you connected to the source and be there to support you along the way, along your journey, aligning yourself up with the right people and avoiding becoming lost. But for those of you who missed the replay, missed this broadcast, I hope you catch the replay, and please leave your comments. I would love to hear your commentaries, any feedback, if this was helpful to you. This was kind of spontaneous and impulsive, but I had this in my mind to do yesterday. And I said, well, let me go ahead and get this out. Let me just get this out now, because it's not like it's too late. This applied to every day. It's because I titled it Laboring in Vain. And yesterday was Labor Day. I'm like, oh, this will be great. This will be perfect for the day. But anyway, be blessed. Have a great day. Don't forget to live intentional and purposeful about your life, your journey. If you want to know more about me, go to www.cherylyhoward.com. You can also go to www.getlifeback.com. And I have, some posts on my blog and a lot of other information. And you'll learn a lot more about me. You'll see the things that I do and how I serve. Because this particular messages are not about, getting clients and all that other kind of stuff. I will come back with those things, because I am definitely here to serve. And I just have a love and passion to help people. So that's what I do at the end of the day. But you be blessed. You have a great day. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.